Alrighty, we are here with Ron Keel. You may know him from, well, multitudes of bands throughout the years, but his most recent band, Ron Keel Band, and they're going to be at the Encore this coming up Friday night here in Tucson. And we've been playing their song Harder on the Outside, Heart on the Inside for the past few weeks. And they got a new album, and we got Ron Keel here with us. And Ron, um, I keep hearing this summer, and we're heading into summer. When's the album going to come out? Any details you can share with us? Any more?
Absolutely. The new album, Keel World, comes out August 2nd worldwide. And this album project features Ron Keel, all new music, all brand new music from Ron Keel Band, Keel, Steeler, Iron Horse, Emerald Sabbath, my Black Sabbath tribute, Ronnie Lee Keel, My Countryside, and lots more. So really excited about the new album, Keel World from RFK Media, August 2nd.
So, am I getting it's a little bit of everything? Is that what I'm getting from this?
This is all new music from
Mhm.
every aspect of my career and all of the bands that have been a part of that legacy. Keel, the band that really put me on the map in the 80s,
Yep.
and Steeler, the band that preceded that. We have all new, brand new music from all of these bands. It's not a rehash, no stuff from the archives, no unreleased tracks. This is all new music.
So you found the guys from those other bands and got together with them and recorded separate tracks for this album called Keel. Now I
Well,
understand the name Keel World.
Keel World. Luckily, we've all remained friends through the years, and we've all continued to work together and still sometimes perform together at some of these Keel Fest events that we've had. So it wouldn't be complete without music from Steeler. And this is the first new Steeler song in over 40 years.
Wow.
Features the three guys from the album lineup: myself, Mark Edwards, Rick Fox on bass, and guitar hero Mitch Perry, who replaced Yngwie Malmsteen in Steeler in 1983. So Mitch has been a part of the family for over 40 years as well. So this is new Steeler music for the first time in a long time. The first new Keel song, Moving Target, which will be the single coming out this summer. And we haven't had a new Keel song since the 2010 reunion album, Streets of Rock and Roll. So it's very exciting. And of course, the heavy lifting is carried by my band, Ron Keel Band. 4 new Ron Keel Band songs on this record. We'll be playing a few of those, like Hard on the Outside, Heart on the Inside, which you've been cranking up on your station. We appreciate that. That's definitely going to be part of the show this Friday when we come into Tucson.
So, you mentioned it briefly just a few moments ago, Ronnie Lee Keel. When you do these shows, I see the metal cowboy behind your head here. Do you do some of the Ronnie Lee Keel stuff at a Ron Keel band show, or
No,
do you keep the country and the metal separate?
there is some twang to it, but no, this is a rock show. We don't do any Ronnie Lee Keel music in the show. It's just, I got to uh, make sure I deliver the music that the fans know and love. There's a lot of Keel. There's, I think, 3 or 4 Steeler songs in the show. There's 9 Keel songs in the gig. A lot of Ron Keel band music, even Black Sabbath music. So we're covering all the bases, except it's not a country show. There's really no place for it. There are a couple of ballads, and I don't know what you call our single "When This Is Over." This was a big hit for us in 2022. It's Southern rock, maybe you
Okay.
might call it, but it's not country. There's no pedal steel guitar on stage, no fiddle in the band when Ron Keel Band comes to Tucson this Friday.
All right. So this show is going to be this Friday night at Encore. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. Like pretty much, it sounds like you're going to be doing a history of Keel, a history of
Absolutely,
Ron Keel.
yes. I take you on the entire journey, but it's a rock show. There's a lot of different twists and turns that I've taken throughout my entire life. The album Keel World wouldn't be complete without touching on that side of my history. But uh, I don't know if those songs will end up in the show or not. But not this weekend. This weekend we're coming to Tucson to rock and roll.
So how long are you on stage for?
The last gig we did in the States was at the Whiskey A Go Go a few weeks ago. The show was 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
Oh, so
So I don't know. I never know until it's over. I don't have a clock. I'm not watching the clock, man. I'm going to play until I drop.
oh, that's fantastic. I could see by the smile on your face and the energy that you have that you still love doing this. You're not just going through the motions.
No, I do love this, especially when we're delivering the goods at a high level. We're coming in hot, man. Larry, I tell you, like I said, we just did the Whiskey in Hollywood. We did the big show in Vegas. and coming back to Arizona, which is where I grew up. This is a big weekend for me. We just got back from South America yesterday. I'm home long enough to do my laundry and cut the grass, and then I'm headed to Arizona tomorrow. So yeah, I'm excited, especially when we're getting the results on stage. The old man's still singing well and having a good time doing what we do, and the audience responses have been incredible. So yeah, I had a lot of reasons to be excited.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, you just mentioned it. You grew up here. I always, when I thought of Keel, and I was a kid when you guys first came out, and I always remember sitting here thinking you guys were an Arizona band, and then I found out you're really a Southern California band. When you look at the history, but you got some Arizona connections.
Absolutely. My family moved to Phoenix in 1968. And that's where I had my first car, my first girl, my first drum set, my first guitar, my first gig. So growing up in Phoenix was certainly it's a hometown for me. I left early to go to Nashville with a band called Steeler, but Keel did have some deep Arizona roots. Three of the guys in the classic Keel lineup, myself, Dwayne Miller, on drums and Kenny Chason on bass. We're all Phoenix guys. So when I put Keel together in LA, I brought a couple of Phoenix boys out to join the lineup. And we've had some amazing gigs there since. I mean, opening for Motley Crue, the last time I played Phoenix and Tucson back to back was 1987 on the Girls tour. Try to say that quickly. The Girls tour. Slow down, Rod. And we played in Tucson. That's the last Tucson gig I've done.
Oh,
And
wow.
then Phoenix the following night at the Coliseum there, where I used to go see concerts when I was a kid. So to bring the Ron Keel band to Arizona for the first time with this lineup, we've been together 10 years. It's our first trip to Arizona, and we're going to make it count.
So I know you're playing here in Tucson on Friday night. I'm a Phoenix boy as well. I moved here to Tucson about 17 years ago. I'm what they call a Sun Devil in Wildcat country. So I grew
I
up I grew up in the Tempe area.
got it.
Do you have a gig up in Phoenix this weekend as well?
We have a gig in Phoenix on Saturday night, May 25th. So we're
Wh-
making it a double shot of Arizona rock. Friday night at the Encore in Tucson, and then Saturday night at the 44 in Phoenix.
At the 44. Okay, I'm not familiar with that place. I think of the Jar and places like that still.
Oh yeah.
And rockers and stuff like that, going back to my days of going.
I played all those places, man. A lot of great memories there, growing up in Phoenix and being a part of that scene, and as friends with bands like Icon slash Schoolboys,
Danny Wexler.
uh, all those guys, man. And I hope to see them. I know I'm going to have a lot of friends in the audiences this weekend, friends from high school and ex bandmates and such. It's just going to be a great homecoming celebration for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, I have always thought of you as an Arizona band. And I remember I worked at a station up in Phoenix that's still around, and we actually had one of your songs, "Give Me and also it became "You," if you know what station I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I was there for years and years before moving down here. But it's great to see you still at it, Ron. And I can't wait to hear the entire album. I had no idea that the album was, it's a very interesting concept because you don't see a lot of artists putting out an album where they take all the different incarnations of of their past and put them together with new music, not just
Yeah.
rehash stuff or stuff out of the archives. You
It really
found
is
them.
a special project and a very ambitious project. A lot of musicians, producers, engineers all over the country contributing to this thing, and um, it's a bucket list thing for me. And I like to try things that other guys won't do or can't do. And to have had the ride that I've had the last 4 decades with success with Steeler and Keel and the Black Sabbath stuff, and as a country artist in the '90s, and it's great to put all that stuff in one basket, put all my kids under one roof, so to speak. And I know that my hardcore hard rock fans are going to really want the new Steeler and the new Keel and the new RKB. Uh, and I know that it is very diverse. You're going to go from really from George Strait to Black Sabbath, with the next click. Uh, and I just hope that people will. I know that my fans have somewhat accepted the fact that I'm not going to just stay in one restaurant and eat the same item off the same menu every day. I'm going to enjoy a little bit of everything life and music have to offer.
Well, over the years, and it used to be growing up, my dad was a huge country fan, and I go, "Oh, gotta listen to that station again," And then I ended up working some country radio for a while and stuff. And country and rock actually share a lot of the audience, and I'm the same way. I don't wake up
Absolutely.
every day wanting to bang my head, and I don't want to wake up every day and get drunk and pet my, dying dog, as they
Yeah.
say. It depends on my mood and music. That's the nice thing about it. The music can do that. And I think sometimes in the States, in this country, our fan bases tend to be, you got to be one way or the other. Yet I have friends in Europe who they like an EDM song and they like a death metal song, or they like a country song and they like a pop song. It just depends on
Yeah,
their
it's
mood.
it's it's come a long way, Larry, since I was growing up. And in the 80s, you had to be metal or die,
Yeah.
whatever. But every great action movie has to have a sex scene, right? I mean, you gotta balance it. It's all about balance. And there's a lot of common ground. The songs are for all intents and purposes upbeat, high energy, telling stories, songs about chasing women and drinking beer. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a lot of common ground.
Well, I was reading one of your bios and you were talking about the type of country that you did. You talked about Western. And I learned a long time ago there's country and Western.
Yeah.
And Western is more about the storytelling and stuff like that. I could have it backwards, but I think
No,
that's what
that's
it was.
exactly right. Spot on. And that's what I learned from my experiences in country music in the 90s, immersing myself in the art form and learning how the songs are built around the voice and the melody and the stories that you tell. As opposed to in the metal years, you'd come up with these big heavy riffs and you just try and find some words that rhyme to put on top of it.
Yep.
We start from the core of the song, the song that you're playing, Heart on the Outside, Heart on the Inside is a perfect example where you start with the lyrics and the melody and the story, and then you build the music to support that.
So you kind of taken a little bit of everything you've learned over the years, and this is where you are today.
Exactly. For the new Steelers song, it's called "Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death," and this is a metal song, man. I had to kind of forget some of the lessons I learned in songwriting and put myself in that headspace where I was, 40 years ago. I didn't know what a pre-chorus was. I mean, just go straight from the chorus to the verse to the chorus, right? What's a pre-chorus? What's a bridge? Uh, I kind of really just kind of forgot everything that I learned and went back to that primal instinct of being a 17-year-old kid with a guitar wanting to scream and bash out some heavy riffs on the guitar. So it was kind of like an actor playing a role, but it's still part of me. I have changed, I have evolved, but I've never subtracted anything from what I was or what I learned or from classical music to the blues to country, jazz, rock. I just continue to add to that toolbox, so to speak, so I can pull out whatever weapon I might need at any given point. And when I was growing up, Larry, there was Black Sabbath and the Eagles on the same radio station.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, I didn't realize I thought "Take It Easy" and "Paranoid" they're both great songs.
Yeah.
And that's really where I'm at still to this day. Just being able to be comfortable in my own skin and sing and play what I want to sing and play. And people will ask, well, what's the show? And I've already given it away kind of. There's 9 Keel songs, there's 4 Steelers songs, something like that, depending on uh, what we do on Friday night. But I am never afraid to play a great song live, even if the audience has never heard it. I just did this in South America. Got home yesterday from my South American tour, and we're doing a couple of new songs that those fans never heard those songs before. Uh, if it's a great song and if you're delivering it with power and integrity and honesty, and they can understand what you're saying and the message that you're conveying, then I'm never afraid to play a new song or a song that the audience may not be familiar with. It's my job to sell that song to the audience, and I plan to do that when we hit the stage on Friday night in Tucson.
Is there an opening act you know of on Friday night?
There are
Or
2 great opening acts, 12 Gauge Serenade and Latency, and the ticket links are easy to find at ronkeel.com.
so okay, you just said that. That was gonna be my next question. If people want to stay in touch with you, Ron, obviously ronkeel.com on the website, but are there other ways to reach out to you on social media?
Well, that ronkeel.com is the hub. You can find everything there. Our YouTube channel, social media at Ron Keel, but everything is there on the mothership, ronkeel.com. There's links to all the cool stuff, the Patreon page where you can subscribe and get on the guest list, all that stuff. It's all there at ronkeel.com, but on Facebook at Ron Keel, Instagram at Ron Keel, X at Ron Keel. Not hard to find.
One last question before we wrap things up. You've been doing this for over 40 years now. Do you ever pinch yourself and go, wow, that 17-year-old kid got to do what he wanted?
All the time, man. All the time. Every day. I cherish every victory. I have been certainly blessed with good health and a good, strong work ethic from my dad. I think, the fact that, you work hard, play hard, be the first to arrive, the last to leave, and have a good time while you're there. Uh, I do not take any opportunity for granted. So I'm going to make the most of this Arizona visit this weekend, Tucson on Friday, Phoenix on Saturday. We're going to give it all we got.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you on Friday night, Ron. And I'm sure a bunch of my Phoenix friends are looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night up there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Again, Friday night at Encore, Saturday night at Club 44. Is that what it's called?
The 44.
The
Yeah.
44 on Saturday night up in Phoenix. Get your tickets at ronkeel.com. Or if you just feel in the last second you want to walk up, tickets available at the door. Well, get them early because you never know. It could sell out. That's how I always
Yes,
say.
it could, and we're hoping for sellouts. We sold out every show on the South American tour. The Vegas and LA shows were packed, so we're hoping for a good turnout this weekend.
All righty. Well, Ron, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing this weekend. Again, keep up to date with Ron Keel at ronkeel.com.
Thanks, Lou.